Special edition of Sports Junkies. I'm Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times, and I'm joined today by Mr. Peter Jackel, lifelong Journal-Times ace reporter. Is that a good enough introduction, or should I expound on that a little more? By the way, how many years is this for you? As
36.
36 years at the Journal-Times. So how many, did you start watching high school sports when you were what? How old were you? So I bet it's even obviously longer, but...
Oh, I remember going in 1970 watching John Oberdorfer at Horlick. I was 11 years old, and Horlick looked like the Green Bay Packers to me at that time as an 11-year-old boy.
So when you were growing up, who was your favorite little athlete? Not little athlete, but who was your favorite high school athlete at the time?
In football?
Yeah, football in general.
Oh, I remember, like I mentioned, John Oberdorfer, that Horlick team, and then... when I was a senior in high school, Horlick had that great team that went to the first state championship game. And they lost to Anago, but they could have been the first team to win it all.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the upcoming football season in Racine County. And I was going through the archives the other day, and I was doing some research, and I read one of your stories that said, I think none of the three Racine schools have gone to the playoffs in 6 years. Is that correct? Or had a winning record?
We're talking about the three public teams. Their last good year was 2008 when Park and Horlick both had a really good year. Horlick had the All-State quarterback in Steve Morris, now receiver with the Raiders. And Park had a great running back, All-State running back named Deion McLean.
I know. You and I used to go back and forth in the office, like who is the better player, who should be the player.
Right. And then Park went 5-4 in 2009. But after 2009, none of the three teams have had a winning record. And Horlick has been knocking on the door, and the other two are trying to catch up a little bit.
Okay, I don't want to dwell on this too much, but what do you think is one of the reasons? Because in the past, like you said, going back to when you were young, Horlick had a great team, and Park has had great teams with John Clay and Brent Moss. Why do you think there's such a drought right now on the Racine?
I don't know if it began to shift a little bit more toward basketball. Everybody wants to be LeBron James and maybe not. Walter Payton or whatever it might be. I don't know what it is.
I thought you were going to say Harvey Catchings.
Harvey Catchings. But Horlick, I mean, last year they went 4-5, did not make the playoffs, but they outscored their opponents 215 to 202, and they're right there. They're knocking on the door. They've got. I talked to Brian Fletcher this morning, and they've got between 130 and 140 kids out for the program, the entire program, and that is like 100 more than some programs in town.
Yeah. Just a quick overview of Racine County sports. If you were going to project a playoff team or a playoff teams from Racine County, who would be your guesses at this time that could go to the playoffs? I mean, a lot of things can change, obviously, over the course of the season, injuries or whatever. But at this point, who would you project as some of the teams that definitely have playoff potential?
Well, definitely St. Catherine's. I mean, what Dan Miller did over there last year was incredible. They had, I think, 20 freshmen and 5 seniors, and they went to the semifinals of the Division V playoffs.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was incredible. And Dan is doing a great job over there. They've had 3 players of the year in the county since 2007. They had an All-State player a year ago in Kelly Thomas, who's now a walk-on at UW. And Burlington, Steve Tenhagen.
Well, let me interrupt you, Pete, just real quick on St. Catherine. What do you like about them? Because they lost a lot of guys, right? A lot of good guys.
They did, but
they could be back in the playoffs.
Yeah, and they've got I think I heard they have 20 freshmen coming in, and there are a couple of big linemen in there. And Dan does a really good job of moving people around to get the most out of them. And I'd be shocked if they didn't have another great year.
Well, and you said Burlington was another team that has a chance.
Burlington, Steve Tenhagen, who was a senior when Tony Romo was a junior out there.
Who's that?
Yeah, he is.
I heard of that guy.
he is very, very popular out there, and they've got like 10 more people out than they did last year. And there are a couple of seniors who are going out for the first time. They like what is going on there so much. And for a while, Burlington, the turnout for Burlington was going down, and now it's picking up again. I really like what they're doing out there.
What about Catholic Central? Any possibility that
they
I mean, they've been a kind of a traditional playoff team.
Well, put it another way, the last time they did not make the playoffs was 1994.
You're 11.
Yeah. Now, they have a numbers problem out there, but they've got a very good senior group. And they've got a really good running back in Cole Kreskin. They've got a 3-year starter at quarterback in Ben Heiligenthal.
That's right.
And Tom Aldrich is the dean of county coaches, and he was a state coach of the year in 2009, and that would be all divisions. And he does a fantastic job out there every year.
You know, let's kind of have some fun here. 3 things that you're looking forward to this football season. One for me is Waterford. I think Bakken has just done a fabulous job as the head coach. I mean, they had a good thing going before he took over, but he's maintained it, in some ways made it even better. And I'm curious to see if he can maintain that high level again. That's one of them.
Right. I admire him a great deal. He moves people around, and they've won the conference or shared the conference every year he coached. And they went to the state championship game the first year he took over in 2011. Yeah, how can you not admire the job he's doing out there?
Well, what's one thing that you're looking forward to?
Well, I want to look at how...
kind of curious about.
I want to look, number one, how Craig McClellan will do out at Union Grove. Now, when he was a sophomore at Union Grove, and he did not play varsity that year, I think it was 94. Yeah, 94. No, I'm sorry, 2004.
Yeah.
They were 0-9 out there. He took over as...
Was he the quarterback?
No. He took over as a junior year. They had a winning record, and then his senior year, they went to the 3rd round of the playoffs.
Wow.
And then we all know what he did with the Raiders. I mean, they've got like an incredible record, and he plans to retire from the Raiders at the end of the year to concentrate only on football, but he's been a winner everywhere he goes. And he told me that they have about 10 more people out than they did last year. And he was worried because Jordan Hine, who left to become principal at Raymond, he was very, very, very popular out there. The kids loved him. And Craig told me that he was worried that the numbers would be down without Jordan, and he was surprised that there were 10 more people than a year ago.
Okay. Another story I'm going to follow this fall is Park High School. They have really gone through some rough times in recent years, and I think they've won, 3 games?
Well, they are coming off of records of 1-8 last year, 0-9 the year before, and 1-7. That adds up to 2-24.
That's very un-Park-like.
Very much, yeah. They've gone through droughts like that before, but not in a very long time. And by the way, 10 years ago this fall is when they won the state championship with Johnny Clay.
Wow.
Yeah. So They've got a ways to go before they catch up to what they were.
Now, I know Dennis Thompson is frustrated. I mean, he's spending a lot of time with that program. Do they have some guys that could, be impact players for him? Ryan Peterson, obviously the linebacker.
Very good linebacker. But they lost the twins, Justin and Jeremy Stewart. Yeah, and I have not talked to him yet. I'm sorry. I have an appointment with him on Monday. I don't know a whole lot of what they have coming back, but they have a big rebuilding job over there. At Case, they've got a new coach in Brian Shreddle, who played at Carthage, and he is apparently very, very popular with the kids. I talked to him a little bit this morning. Their numbers are a little bit down. But, and the funny thing about that program has been around for 50 years, and they have never won a playoff game.
Is that right?
Yeah. They have
not one.
Not one. They've gone to the playoffs 3 times. I mean, they had a great coach there, a Hall of Fame coach, Gene Veit, for 29 years. But since 95, when he left, they've had, this is the 7th coach they've had, so they've had a lot of turnover there.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Another program I'm going to keep an eye on is Racine Lutheran. They've gone through, a drought as well, and all of a sudden last year they started making some progress. And Shamaz Williams, the running back, is back, and he'll certainly be one of the best running backs in the county. What kind of season do you kind of predict for them?
Well, he does not have very much back on defense. I think he has 2 starters back, and he is going to play Williams on defense a little bit more than he did last year. Now, Williams led the county in rushing last year, and he took he worked a lot on his own, and he took time off of his 40-yard dash. He improved his time there. He's a little bit heavier. I think he could have a fantastic year. But they've been really bitten by the injury bug the last 2 or 3 years, and that could, and they're trying to avoid that, obviously.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a fascinating season, and just a couple individuals we should talk about. Williams, obviously at Racine Lutheran, Kreskin out at Catholic Central come right to mind. The wide receiver at St. Catherine's, Bumpus,
right, Titanero, and they're going to play a little bit his twin brother at quarterback.
No kidding.
It'll be a situational type of thing. He's going to share time. They're going to platoon, and Dan told me it won't be a quarterback competition. It'll be like according to the situation.
Do you recall, sorry to interrupt you, but do you recall a brother and brother combination over the years?
Oh, I'd have to think about that for
Yeah.
a while. Yeah. I'm sure
It's
they're
kind of unique.
Yeah, they're very much. But they will have another great year. I'm sure of it.
Okay. Anything else that you're kind of keeping an eye on that you're kind of curious how it might unfold?
Well, the main thing for me is Horlick. I mean, again, they had a deceptively good year last year. They were in every good game, and they've got a ton of kids out. I think the kind of shifted toward Horlick as a program in the county right now, among public schools I'm talking about. And Brian is putting a lot of time in, and I am just waiting for them to have that breakthrough year, and I think they're very capable of it.
Well, it should be a fun season, I would imagine. There's probably 4 or 5 teams that are legitimate playoff caliber type teams with the right breaks that could get into the playoffs. So, anything you want to add about the upcoming season?
Oh, I think we've got every team covered pretty much. Any question you might have?
I don't have any questions, but I know where to go to if I do have. So, well, thanks for joining us, Pete. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for asking me.
And thanks for watching us on another edition of Sports Junkies.